My fiancée decided to broadcast her bachelorette party live, cracking jokes. Should I even go through with this marriage? I typed in the comments, "Don't bother." Then I messaged the venue and called the whole wedding off. Seconds later, her maid of honor was frantically ringing my phone. I'm 32, male, and was, until that moment, engaged to Rachel, 29. I thought things were solid. I believed that the endless debates over invitation fonts, flower colors, and seating charts were a sign of us building something meaningful together. But for her, it turned out to be nothing more than setting up a stage. It was a Thursday evening. I was sitting at home, making the final online payment for the caterer, feeling that quiet adult sense of relief that comes when you check off a huge task. My phone buzzed with notification. Rachel F. is live. I smiled, expecting the usual bachelorette weekend antics. Her, Caroline, maid of honor, and their group of friends at some fancy rental home with champagne. I clicked, ready for harmless fun. At first, that's what it was. Shaky camera, champagne glasses clinking, Rachel in her future Mrs. Miller's sash, laughing, cheeks red from alcohol. Caroline held the phone, already slurring. "All right, real talk," she giggled, pointing the camera at Rachel. "You're about to be locked down. How's it really feel?" Rachel tilted her head back and chugged from the bottle. "Alexander's great. He's so stable." She dragged the word like it was a death sentence. Everyone howled with laughter. "He pays bills on time. His car is spotless. Trash is always out." Someone yelled, "Yeah, but is he fun?" Rachel leaned toward the lens, smirking, eyes hazy. "He's a good provider. My parents adore him. But is that enough? Honestly, guys..." She paused for effect while her friends whooped and egged her on. Should I even marry him? The room exploded with shouts. "Don't do it. Run while you can." Caroline laughed so hard the phone shook. The comment feed was going wild with hearts, laughing emojis, and lines like, "Girl, lead him. OMG, Rachel." I didn't feel an explosion of anger. No shouting in my head. Just a switch flipping. Everything around me, the hum of the fridge, faint city noise outside, fell quiet. She wasn't asking a real question. This wasn't spontaneous. It was something she'd clearly thought about, and she decided to share it with an audience of strangers. Before I could second-guess myself, my fingers typed one sentence into the chat. "Don't bother." Then I shut the app. My pulse was steady, strong, calm. My mind snapped into logistics. The venue. I opened my messages. Found our coordinator. "Me. Hi, Deborah. This is Alexander Miller. Please take this as official notice that I'm canceling the October 12th wedding. I understand deposits are non-refundable. Kindly confirm receipt. Thanks." Next, the spreadsheet. Our massive shared Google sheet with every vendor, budget line, and guest list. I made a private copy, saved it. Then on the shared file, I went to her name, removed access, the caterer. I had literally just paid them. I fired off a cancellation email. Subject: Event number 24601 canceled. Wrote: further to my payment, the event is no longer taking place. I understand deposits are non-refundable. No further action needed. Regards, Alexander Miller. Seconds later, my phone lit up. Caroline, her grinning face on caller ID. Same one I'd just seen on live. I let it ring out. Immediately, text poured in, *Alexander. Call me now. Then, what did you do? Then the kicker, Rachel just got an email from a venue. What the hell is happening? I put my phone face down, silent. Got myself a tall glass of water. The house was still. She had posed her question. I had given her the answer. The rest was a revenge. It was just paperwork. Update 1. The next day was chaos and silence. My phone buzzed like a bomb. Dozens of missed calls from Rachel, Caroline, unknown numbers. Messages flooded in, from hysterical, "How could you do this to me?" to borderline threatening, "Pick up the damn phone, Alexander." I didn't answer. I simply forwarded the venue cancellation email to Rachel's dad, who'd covered the deposit. Subject line, FYI, no body text. He deserved to know where his money went. Rachel came home late Friday. I heard her key, the sound of her suitcase wheels scraping across the floor. I was sitting on the couch, reading. Alexander, she said, pale face, puffy eyes. The sash gone. You have 5 minutes to explain yourself. Her voice shook with fury. Explain what? I asked, closing my book slowly. You asked a question. I answered it. Then I followed through. It was a joke. I was drunk. It was my bachelorette party, she screamed, ramping up with each excuse. You just destroyed our lives over something stupid. Was it a joke when you said I was stable like it was pathetic? When your friends told you to run and you laughed? No, Rachel. That sounded pretty genuine. You were performing, and you forgot your biggest audience member was watching. You humiliated me, she sobbed. You wrote that comment in front of everyone. Then you called the venue. Do you know how embarrassing that was for me? I imagine extremely embarrassing, I said calmly. But you did that to yourself. You chose to mock our relationship live in front of hundreds. I simply closed the curtain. She froze, grasping for a new angle. The money, Alexander. My dad's money. You cost us thousands. Your father's money. I corrected. And mine. I paid the band and catered deposits myself last night. I'll be sending your dad a check to cover my half of the venue loss. It's the least I can do. Her jaw dropped, like she couldn't process me being decent. She left that night to stay with Caroline. Fine. The spin campaign began the next day. Caroline created a group chat with mutual friends, calling it Supporting Rachel. Her opening message, asterisk as you all probably heard, Alexander had a meltdown and canceled the wedding. Rachel is devastated. He overreacted to a silly joke and now won't even talk to her. We just want to support her through this tragedy. Asterisk. Replies rolled in sympathy. So sorry, Rachel. Sending love. I said nothing. Instead, I handled more housekeeping. Rachel and Caroline have been using my premium Canva and Adobe licenses for their little design side hustle. Access revoked. Shared Amazon account. Logged them out everywhere. Changed the password. Pulled my card. That evening, Rachel's father called. I answered. Alexander, he said heavily. It's Jack. What on earth happened? I told him, word for word, what she said on live, the crowd laughing, the public humiliation. I told him she showed doubt about our future, loudly, proudly, to an audience. He was quiet for a long time. Finally, she can be dramatic. She didn't mean it. With respect, Jack, she's 29, not a teenager. Dramatic doesn't explain publicly questioning a marriage 1 month before the wedding. She meant it in that moment, and that moment was enough for me. He sighed, the weary sigh of a father who knew the truth but didn't want to face it. So what happens now? We untangle our lives. I told him, that's all there is. After I hung up, I walked slowly through the apartment. Our apartment. On the fridge was a photo of us from last year's trip. 2 people grinning, convinced they were building something real. A knife twist of grief hit me. Not for Rachel, not for the woman who mocked me on a live stream, but for the man I used to be, for the future he believed in. The feeling passed, replaced with steel. This was demolition. Painful, messy, but controlled and necessary. My phone buzzed. A text from Caroline. Rachel needs to come get her stuff. Also, you owe her for the wedding costs. Her dad's calling your parents. I actually laughed. The entitlement was absurd. You owe her. I screenshotted it. Something told me her audacity would be useful later. Update 2. 2 weeks since what my friends now call the livestream incident. The blast wave has settled, replaced by the grind of separating lives. Rachel's still hiding out at Caroline's. Their Support Rachel group chat has apparently devolved into a venting pit, though a few friends leaked screenshots to me. The official story? I'm cruel, heartless, punishing her. Hilarious, given she's the one who detonated the wedding. First major snag, the apartment. The lease has both our names. Rent came due. I paid my half. Her half sat unpaid. So I did what I always do, document. Email to Rachel F., Jack F. Subject: Rent due, App 4B, 123 Main. Rachel, this is a reminder that your half of the rent, $1,100, is now 5 days late. Our signed lease makes us both legally responsible. Failure to pay will affect both our credit and could trigger eviction. Please pay immediately. If you want off the lease, you'll need to sign the release with the landlord and cover rent through that date. Regards, Alexander. I CC'd her dad. If she wanted a freeload, let him see the bill. She called within minutes. Voice full of fire. I can't believe you CC'd my dad. Hello, Rachel. I said evenly, setting the phone on speaker while I made coffee. Calling to say you paid the rent? I'm not paying for a place I'm not living in. You kicked me out. I didn't kick you out. You left after torching our engagement. But the landlord didn't leave with you. Protecting my credit is non-negotiable. You should be worried about yours. You're cruel. You're trying to ruin me. No, I'm just paying my bills. The same thing you once sneered at as boring, turns out it matters. Send the transfer when you're ready. I hung up. The next day, her brother Dennis showed up at my door, brimming with the same flair for victimhood. Dude, he started. No hello. You need to back off. You're going to ruin her credit over a few $100 after everything she's been through. You mean after everything she put me through? I asked. Let's be clear. She humiliated me publicly. I ended it. Now we have admin tasks. She pays her share. She signs off the lease. Done. Just be a gentleman, man. Let her off. Being a gentleman doesn't mean lighting myself on fire to keep her warm. It means handling my responsibilities, which I've done. She needs to handle hers. He left muttering I'd changed. I hadn't. I'd just stopped absorbing her fallout. Then came the matter of belongings. And one thing of mine. For my nightstand, gone. My grandmother's vintage watch. Not flashy, but priceless to me. Rachel loved wearing it. Sometimes even called it ours, though she knew it wasn't. She texted a single curt line. Caroline will grab my things while you're at work. I emailed instead. To Rachel F. CC, Jack F. Subject: Collection of personal items / return of heirloom. Rachel: Caroline may collect your items tomorrow between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Please ensure my grandmother's watch, left on my nightstand, is returned as well. Attached is a screenshot of your July text where you asked to borrow it. It must come back tomorrow. Thanks, Alexander. I CC'd her father deliberately. He'd known my grandmother. He knew this wasn't petty, it was a boundary. The next day I came home. Apartment felt hollow, her closet stripped, bathroom cleared. Relief? Honestly. Then I checked the nightstand. Empty. No watch. My chest went cold. This wasn't forgetfulness. This was theft. Rent still unpaid. Watch gone. But new email pinged my inbox. From Jack. Subject: Let's sort this out. Looked like Dad had finally decided to intervene. Final update. 4 months later. No divorce, because we never made it that far. Just a sharp, brutal cut. The wreckage is clearing, and my life is quiet again. Jack's email led to a sit-down at a neutral coffee shop. 3 of us at the table. Felt like negotiations with hostages. Rachel sulking, staring into her cup. Jack exhausted, like a man tired of bailing his adult daughter out of her own disasters. He slid a velvet pouch across the table. This is yours, he said flatly. This was never hers. And it was beneath you to take it, Rachel. She winced, but said nothing. Inside was my grandmother's watch. Relief nearly buckled me. I slipped it into my pocket. Round one to me. Now, the rent, Jack went on. I sent you the $1,100. Alexander. I also covered the fee to remove Rachel from the lease. This is the last time, Rachel. The very last. She mumbled something about it being his fault, too. I ignored it. The check in my pocket told the truth. Then, wedding costs. The moment she'd been waiting for. We need to settle the rest, Jack said. Simple. I replied, pulling my notes. You, too, covered her dress and invitations. I paid non-refundable deposits for band, caterer, photographer, and the honeymoon to Italy, plus the ring. Rachel finally snapped, venom in her voice. So you're paying me back for the dress? I can't return it. I almost laughed. Absolutely not. Sell it or burn it. I don't care. As for my losses, I'll sell the ring. That'll cover some of the honeymoon I'm not taking. Her head jerked up, eyes blazing. You're going to sell the ring? After everything it meant. I leaned in, steady. It was supposed to mean a future together. You killed that meaning the second you mocked it on livestream. Now it's just a stone. A very valuable stone. Nothing more. She deflated. There was nothing left to argue. The dream was over. I was liquidating the assets. Period. We left. I never spoke to her again. The fallout, as pieced together through friends. Rachel's still at Caroline's, their friendship rotting under the weight. Caroline signed up to be fun maid of honor, not lifelong roommate/warden. Rachel had to get a dull 9 to 5 she despises. She tells everyone I ruined her life. Maybe I did, the life she thought she deserved, free of consequence. Caroline, her reputation tanked. The live stream was screen recorded and circulated. She's no longer the funny party girl, just a mean sidekick who cheered as her best friend imploded. Me? I sold the ring. Took a loss, but gained peace. Priceless trade. The apartment's mine now. Calm, orderly, boring. Exactly the kind of boring Rachel sneered at. Exactly the kind of boring I love. I blocked them all. Last week, I booked a flight. A solo trip to Italy. The honeymoon's still happening, just with one ticket instead of two. Not the journey I imagined, but the right one. A new beginning. And the best part? She'll never see herself as anything but the victim. She'll believe that story until her last breath. That's fine. She wanted a performance, and she got one. She just didn't expect the lead actress to be written out in the first act, while the leading man walked away just fine.